What do you think of Bradley Manning?
I think he committed treason. I think he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
What does that mean?
Well, treason is the only crime defined by our Constitution, and it says treason shall consist only of levying war against the United States or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. And he gave our enemies a lot of aid and comfort.
So what should happen to him?
Well, he should be prosecuted, and if he's found guilty, he should be punished to the fullest extent possible.
And what is that?
Death.
You think he should be killed?
Yes.
Yep, those are the words of neocon warmongerer John Bolton, who says if you release classified information in order to hurt or destabilize the government, you should be put to death, as now he is releasing classified information and destabilizing the government, unironically doing so on a national book tour that, of course, the U.S. mainstream media is eating up. Yep, that's our hypocritical political system. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Ukradowski of WeAreChange.org, and that's why in this video we're going to be talking about all the accusations and bombshells that John Bolton is accusing Donald Trump of. We're going to take a deep dive into those, as well as covering Donald Trump's response with a bigger picture of what is happening geopolitically, specifically with China related to these allegations. All, of course, on this independent media organization that doesn't cater to the mob, to the left-right divide and conquer agenda, that, of course, profits off of human suffering. And we're our own little media thing that pisses off both sides of the establishment, but we're here mainly because of you, and one very easy way to support us is by purchasing a t-shirt. We have a lot of new ones, including this one that says "Don't Karen on Me." We also have this timely t-shirt, as well as this one to talk about all the current events that are happening, as well as our best seller, which is actually the shirt that I'm wearing right now that says 1984, Make Orwell Fiction Again, which a lot of people definitely resonate with. I'm also going to give you guys a sneak peek. This is another shirt that we're working on right now that soon will be in the stores. We're just making some small adjustments. And because you guys purchase t-shirts, I'm still here every single day providing you these important reports. To check out the store link, check out the link down below, and your purchases are, of course, greatly appreciated. Now, for full transparency, there definitely hasn't been a love affair between me and John Bolton. I've been calling him out for over 15 years now, all the way back into the Bush administration when he was toting the lines of WMDs, weapons of mass destructions in Iraq, which somehow translated also to an Iran war, which he wanted, which luckily he never got. He has still been pushing for the Iran war since, of course, he is a bloodthirsty neoconservative warmonger. And, of course, when Donald Trump announced him a part of his administration, we were the news organization saying, "What the hell are you doing?" I mean, seriously, the guy's record speaks for itself, but we called it out, and we even got pushback from a lot of right-wingers saying that Trump had to do this. It was a way of controlling Bolton. Trust Trump's plan. He knows what he's doing. And that's absolute bull, as, of course, we have our current events with a major war of words unfolding with his former national security advisor, which, by the way, the Trump administration is now suing Bolton over and has even asked a court to stop the publication of this book. A book, by the way, that is coming out Tuesday, but right now we're seeing leaks and snippets of the book being, of course, pushed by the mainstream media, since, of course, there's a lot of bombshell information released by John Bolton. Whether it's true or not, we're going to look into those in just a little bit, but these latest revelations affect American policy and, of course, the American people, especially when you look at what just transpired with Donald Trump signing sanctions on China because of their treatment over the Uyghur Muslims, a minority Muslim population in China that is slowly being disappeared, put into work camps, and of course there's even accusations of them being used for organ harvesting. And now Donald Trump put sanctions on Communist Party leaders of China for what he calls their gross human rights violations, which of course China is saying that they will retaliate against Donald Trump because of these new sanctions. The Chinese senior officials saying that there will be consequences against the United States, which of course is continuing the larger geopolitical strife between these two world superpowers. Now, allegedly, in John Bolton's book that wasn't released yet publicly, he writes about how Donald Trump encouraged the Chinese to build these forced labor camps. Allegedly, according to John Bolton, saying that, quote, Trump thought was exactly the right thing to do. Even alleging that Trump called the Chinese president, quote, the greatest Chinese leader in 300 years. And is Donald Trump setting up these sanctions because of the revelations in this book? Well, we still don't know for sure, because there deserves to be a lot of skepticism of John Bolton. Now, obviously, America's sanctions on China retaliating, Trump being accused of supporting forced labor camps, all have very serious implications, with already a very tense situation unfolding between China and, of course, India. India, of course, a close ally to the United States, which it purchases a lot of weapons from. And if you watched the last two videos that we did, we talked about the latest escalations with Chinese and Indian troops killing themselves with literal sticks and stones over, of course, disputed territory that both countries claim is theirs. This situation is getting very seriously, with a massive military buildup by the Chinese now, the Indians setting up an alliance defensive pact with the Australians recently. It's a very drastic situation that, honestly, there's some gerrymandering by this individual with. And the reason I say you can't trust John Bolton is because he's a proven liar. I mean, look what he said here on Fox Business just a few years ago.
Now, I want to make the case for secrecy in government when it comes to the conduct of national security affairs, and possibly for deception where that's appropriate. You know, Winston Churchill said during World War II that in wartime, truth is so important it should be surrounded by a bodyguard of lies.
Do you really believe that?
Absolutely.
You would lie in order to preserve the truth?
If I had to say something I knew was false to protect American national security, I would do it.
And how can you trust an individual like that duplicitously says you need to lie to tell the truth? And that's not what's happening here. That Orwellian quote is meant to justify his bastardized, utterly insane policies that benefit no one except for the military-industrial complex. And when we look at his allegations, we have to think of it from that particular backdrop, since, of course, this man has been creating chaos through war throughout his entire bastardized career. So when you look at John Bolton, look at it through those lenses. Look at it from hypocritical, pushed on the war in Iraq, will lie to tell the truth somehow. Think, whatever he says, think of it through that lens. Now, according to him and his new book, he's accusing Donald Trump of asking for personal favors from the Chinese president to allegedly help him win in the 2020 presidential election. According to John Bolton, Russian President Vladimir Putin plays him like a fiddle. And already I'm like, what? Donald Trump has been far more aggressive than Barack Obama when it comes to American foreign policy, when it comes to assassinating an Iranian general, which is closely allied to Russia, when it comes to putting in troops guarding oil fields in, of course, Syria, bombing the Syrian government, another close ally of Russia. He sent lethal weapons to Ukraine, which Barack Obama refused to do. And geopolitically speaking, Donald Trump has been far more aggressive on Russia than, of course, his previous predecessor. And to say that Putin is playing him like a fiddle is definitely questionable, since, of course, American foreign policy has directly countered Russia's and put Putin in a very difficult position, like the one that he finds himself in right now in northern Syria. So already, that first claim, based on circumstantial evidence, is ridiculous. It's pretty clear that China is also supporting Joe Biden. And whether Donald Trump asked them for a personal favor or even a go-ahead for these Uyghur Muslim camps, that's still unknown. Allegedly, according to Bolton, Trump also pleaded with China to buy U.S. agriculture products. Again, we still don't know if that's true. According to Bolton, Trump believed Finland was a part of Russia. He allegedly asked Theresa May if the United Kingdom had nuclear weapons. Allegedly, Trump said that invading Venezuela would be, quote, cool, and argued that the South American nation was, quote, really part of the United States. And allegedly, the only reason why there wasn't a U.S. invasion of Venezuela is because Russian President Vladimir Putin was able to, quote, change Trump's mind because he equated the opposition leader, which has been promoted by the West, Juan Guaido, to, quote, Hillary Clinton. Now, American foreign policy has been very aggressive against Venezuela, especially under Donald Trump. But again, this seems like a lot of just snarky high school rumors put on the stall of a bathroom. Now, if there's any other people that could validate a lot of these claims, or maybe some audio recordings, then maybe we could believe them to be true. And who knows, maybe some of these accusations are true, maybe some of them are not. But this definitely has a lot of people talking, and this is definitely going to sell a lot of books. Another accusation is that Donald Trump defended Saudi Arabia's execution of Jamal Khashoggi in order to, quote, keep the spotlight off revelations which his daughter was using a private email account. Again, until I see some legitimate proof of this other than just the words of John Bolton that can't be trusted, we can't really believe any of this. Now, Trump's relationship with Saudi Arabia is very egregious, irresponsible, reckless, dangerous. I could say a lot more, but if he's defending Saudi Arabia, I don't think it would be to distract from Ivanka's email scandal. I think it would be following the protocol of his presidency, and that's supporting Saudi Arabia like he has from the very beginning, which again is just utterly ridiculous for him to be doing so and continuing to do so. Allegedly, Donald Trump, according to John Bolton, also called Nikki Haley, well, we can't say this word on YouTube, family-friendly show, a very bad word. Allegedly, Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump wanted Nikki Haley to be his running mate in 2020 and for him to dump Mike Pence, which makes sense since the political viewpoints of Jared Kushner and Nikki Haley are very much aligned. But again, none of this actually happened. And after a lot of these accusations, John Bolton pens that Donald Trump is, quote, not fit for office, is, quote, incompetent. And of course, that's the picture that John Bolton portrays with a lot of his accusations and a lot of his leaking of private classified information, essentially, if true, becoming some sort of whistleblower that, according to his own logic, should be put to death by the state. And if John Bolton wants to play by his rules, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, what's going to be very entertaining to see is that from these latest revelations, from this book, from this media tour, a lot of, quote, leftists, and of course a lot of the mainstream media, will be eating it up, celebrating and cheering him on as a folklore hero, even though he has been the chief opposition to the left throughout his entire career. But the past doesn't matter here. Power does, which of course John Bolton has always cared about for him and his special interest that he serves. Donald Trump and his administration are, of course, firing back against a lot of these allegations, calling them falsehoods. And again, until we get any direct evidence, we still don't know the full truth of what actually happened here. And that's important to point out here because anything is possible. We do see Trump's administration trying to put up an emergency block of the publication of this book. So far, Donald Trump has not denied lifting sanctions to please the Chinese. Trump is saying publicly that Bolton broke the law. And how this political scandal will be playing out from here will be very interesting to see, as of course we're going to be keeping a very close eye on it. If you found any other information I provided here valuable, please share this video with your friends and family members because YouTube definitely will not. We are 100% demonetized, heavily censored, and shadow banned on this platform. And that's why buying some of our shirts, scarves, hats, phone cases means the world to us, keeps us going, especially with you guys sharing the video and being with me here throughout the entirety of this video. And because you are, I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.